championships.
Absolutely. All right, we're jumping into game right now. 0-0. This is an elimination game. There's still more games to be played after this one too, though. So UPCP needs to beat a very hot ToS team if they want to keep playing within this tournament.
Absolutely. Feppy leading the charge there, gotten that experience share. Aquilo, excuse me, right on the backside. We're going to see who gets the Audino here. They're timing out their last shots, and it looks like UPCP got that one. So they're getting just a quick little short lead here in the bottom path, as that boy Muck is just serving up some lasers out of some hoops down there, really just putting the screws to UPCP, putting some pressure on and trying to keep them away from their stuff, as UPCP's got some good pressure on that Slowpoke, playing very far forward.
Slowpoke definitely has the health regeneration and just resources to be playing that far forward, though, right? Sanji getting away from a double gank in that top lane, so very, very nice. Unfortunately, Scolded on this Bulbasaur, the clear that this Pokemon has at this level, not incredibly fast, so not able to go up and contest, is going to come to the bottom side here to try to help their squad.
Yeah, the good part of that is Sanji's one of the best Lucarios going, so Scolded feels like they don't need to support them too bad and kind of get through the thing and leverage the advantage that Venusaur actually has late game. Oh, your local Fox gets taken down by the Gossifleur, and that's a way to evolve it, and Feppy getting that cotton ball on his head here, and now they're pushing forward, getting some good points in the bottom path, using that player advantage that they have, that Pokemon advantage, to really bubble out UPCP, and they can't really put the pressure back on in a very meaningful way, as all of ToS is collapsing around that Audino.
This triple support bottom line is such an interesting look that we haven't seen any other team pull off today. Feppy on Pollen Puff again, by the way. So anytime that the Slowbro wants to engage, they have to know that they're not going to be able to find that much damage. Pikachu's their biggest source, but Pikachu's much better at large CC amounts of damage, not big burst levels. So even then, could they break the health barriers of ToS? That's soon to be seen.
I mean, there's good level experience happening on ToS's side as Sanji's rolling down, trying to cut off this Frogadier, and they're a higher level by much here, by about a half a level here. And look at this, they're pushing in, and that's a concerted effort on Regis and company as they're pushing forward, and your local Fox getting caught a little bit as they're chipping in, and they're just on the verge, and they don't close it out. They make it out, but just.
No kidding, just barely making it out there. Did not expect them to be able to do that. Sanji takes the berry, Muck making sure that they're getting those on cooldown for their squad. Always hard to forget that Pokemon just gained another button because that's absolutely what it needed, right? Sanji on the extreme speed build this time around makes sense. However, they don't have that great of secure on the side. They may actually be relying on Aquilo on the Blissey to be getting some Blissey bops in to really secure any of these big priority objective Pokemon like Dreadnought.
ToS looking to see how they're going to engage this. Lucario's coming up top, and Felonious, so that's who Sanji wants to go after, chunking them pretty deep here, playing in the backline, E-speeding through, dealing a lot of damage, and soaking up all the attention that UPC has, as Sanji's still up, still going. Hoopa gets a KO on the Lucario, and of course they take the Dreadnought, excuse me, I thought they took the Dreadnought, no, they just decided to turn the tables on him. UPC getting pushed all the way up the path here, KO Streak of 2 for Scolded the Venusaur, and now they're peeling back to Dreadnought, and they're going to try and KO this thing before it leashes out, as they rope in a quick KO on your local Fox, easily take Dreadnought, and just a good look by ToS.
Yeah, no kidding. Muck getting in a little bit of danger there, but Scolded now not worried about being a little baby Bulbasaur no longer. A level 10 Venusaur is a much different threat. Sanji goes down, but takes 2 with him, making sure that they're dragging everybody to the respawn center unless they're going. ToS Scolded makes sure that their captain Scolded gets 2 and a 40 dunk. Fantastic work from them.
Yeah, Unite move by Regis coming in, trying to catch him off guard here. Everybody on the retreat. Scolded going to make it out. Feppy responsible for picking him up, but they're turning the screws right back to him as the Blissey gets the final KO on the Greninja in tandem with the Venusaur. Wow, I did not expect that after the Unite move and this push by UPC. They absolutely bought themselves just enough time, got that Pollen Puff action going, just hit him on a dime and buckled him down, and now Sanji's just putting some points into that top path, getting that attack weight up and stacking him up, getting it up to 6.
That amount of healing is unfair. No shot Feppy should live 3 auto attacks after a United Greninja. Never in a million years. However, Pollen Puff, Trick, Cotton Guard, and Blissey Safeguard, everything is put into saving these players. No one's going down on the side of ToS, at least not without a fight.
Yeah, that frog gets eaten up by 3 players on ToS, and that's easy work here with a Pokemon like that. And a Kilo playing very far forward, maybe, I don't even think it was an invade, I think it was just for vision, to be quite honest. But ToS takes, they take the Rotom here, and they're pushing. They're going to see if they have an opportunity to get this thing in there as they kind of peel off a little bit, looking to pick a fight. Sanji isolates Regis, pushing through, getting a good chunk of damage in. UPC still working, and they're trying to use the Rotom as a positional advantage here as finally ToS decides to just back off and just reel back. UPC has overcommitted to that Rotom, and they're happy with that as Dat Boy Muck is uniting everybody in for the Dreadnought, and there's no way that UPC can outpace them getting it here. They're going to try and clean it up really quick. UPC intelligently, though, taking that topside goal zone.
Yeah, sorry for throwing away the camera away from the action, but I was really interested. A nice macro gameplay there. The only problem was they didn't have as many Aeos energy in pocket as I maybe thought they did. Still, though, they're never going to get that Dreadnought, especially not with a Muck who was, you know, Hoopa Unbound, creating a ton of space, not to mention launching their moves that do so much damage when in that Unite move form. So, good call by them to avoid that situation. Feppy has to use Cotton Guard, and a Blissey Unite used by a Kilo here, as well as the Cotton Cloud Crash. So this poor Lucario is finding a terrible amount of damage to them. Neptune, though, using the Unite move here to try to crash this bottom tier goal zone.
I mean, absolute rope-a-dope maneuver there. They get the KO on the Lucario. Here comes ToS, going to put the pressure onto the face of this Hoopa Unbound. Slowbro gets a KO. Greninja gets a KO. UPC going to get a little flow, get a little momentum here, get a KO on the Venusaur, and it's just a Kilo standing in the way here as they're pushing up. And Regis ready to get some KOs for themselves as well, as that was a nice little counter effort there by UPC.
Nice counter effort, but you always got to remember what's the cost. They used a lot of Unite moves to make that happen. Specifically, I'm looking at the Greninja Unite move from Regis, but if they can get it back, they have 30 seconds or so to actually earn these. That shouldn't be impossible to do. However, I see very little yellow polka dots on their side of the minimap. The farm isn't available. They might need to net themselves a KO to get anything back.
That's without a doubt, as ToS is getting this Rotom for free 99, and it's going to go down the path, and again, just creating that artificial map presence here. 2:43 on the clock, and we've got 15 seconds now until Dreadnought here, and we're going to see if ToS wants to put the pressure around it, or if UPC is going to make a play for it, or is it just going to stand there and be a sad turtle for about 25 seconds?
Yeah, exactly. Very interesting seeing a very reserved play here out of ToS, giving both the jungle buffs and the top Autonos over to Scolded. As much as you can stack this Venusaur, the better. This Pokemon going to be almost a level 15 Venusaur by Zapdos. Look forward to watching every resource in the game, and probably even some outside of the game that they hacked in towards Scolded. I'm joking, they didn't actually cheat, I promise. But Scolded's insane, and they have triple support.
Yeah, UPC already ripping this Zapdos. They're not even going to wait for it. They're going to get in there, and here comes Scolded going to chip in, and the Unite moves are flying here. Finally, Scolded gets it, and they take it with the Unite move on the Zapdos, and now everybody's chunked for UPC, and they've moved down 4 players on the squad, and it's just the Hoopa Unbound remaining, and they're going to do their best, but no shot. Not today. Terms of Scolded are going to take that Zapdos and the body. Mass KO. That's a full team wipe, and now these Hundo Burgers are just raining in.
Yeah, no kidding. Fantastic work there from Teams of Scolded. That is the power between the Venusaur and the Blissey, right? You see that safeguard thrown onto the Venusaur to give them the CC immunity. Therefore, they're allowed to get that Zapdos rip. Really, really fantastic work there. A monumental gap to close. A lot of nice KOs on the side of UPCP, but again, this gap is so massive that if they want to win this game, they're going to have to do it through a Dat Boy Muck on defense.
Yeah, I'm already seeing some weak spots in this armor here for UPC, because they don't even have 50s across the board, which they would need to even put a respectable chunk in. Look at this Blissey just getting it, no problem. Just granny shotting in their 100 points here, just doing it the slow way as this team fight's breaking out. Now it's all about pride, and you see UPCP doesn't want to go down without swinging here, and they're trying their best. Local Fox with the Surf chipping in. Scolded, just the damage is just too oppressive, and it's too big here between Dat Boy Muck, Kilo, and Scolded. And this one easily goes to TOS.
No kidding. 890 to 280. Very strong scoreline. That game was looking a little bit more even in the bot lane. I really do think UPCP was putting up a good fight versus the bot lane of the triple support kind of composition. However, Sanji and Scolded finding value constantly, shutting down the enemy with some big Unite moves at certain points. And I need to mention the rotations out of TOS always seem to be on point. They were at the objectives early. They were at the Zapdos early. They knew where to be. Even Sanji, known for the Sanji Sprint, a coined phrase from them. Even with that, they knew that they needed to be in those team fights, especially for first Dread.
I mean, just look at that scoreline. 10-16 to 280, and we're looking at these stats across the board. Again, this is kind of one of those instances that the damage dealt doesn't really tell the story of what was going on in this matchup. So I don't want people to get too stressed out about, you know, seeing kind of these lower numbers across the board. Look at those KOs. That just means that they were working as a unit. They were moving together. They were choosing their targets as a collective, and they were absolutely delivering on that objective. So great look by TOS, and sometimes just the even balance of that damage dealt really helps paint a picture of how cohesive the team is playing.
Yeah, no kidding. Cohesion, definitely one of TOS's strongest suits. I interviewed that team on my podcast, Overdunk, and when I asked the question that I ask almost every team, I love to ask, who's got the biggest brain on the squad? It was a unanimous vote for that of Scolded. The entire team really values the presence of mind that player brings to in-game and out of game, and labbing strats, coming up with, you know, bigger ideas of how to play the game. But I think one of the biggest deals they bring is just in-game team calls. You always see these Unite moves timed perfectly, and team fights swinging the way of TOS, and that's what gives them that 1-0 advantage right now.
Yeah, it's a fun fact. They actually respect what Scolded has to say so much, and this is straight from Feppy's mouth here, is they actually let Aquilo do a lot of the shot calling in that bottom path and really guide the texture of the game itself. But they always have the red button that you can just smash, and that is what any command is overridden by Scolded saying something, right? So they can have a game plan, and if Kilo's like, yeah, let's make a push here, or, you know, let's pull back. If Scolded goes in and says, we're doing this, the whole team shuts it down and gets on Scolded's hip, and they push together. And sometimes you just need that excess flow valve, just that relief valve, to be able to say, okay, confusion's gone, let's get back on the same page and move in one direction. Absolutely. And Scolded is making such good calls in that. They're winning a lot of games here, and they just put together a clinic in game one.
Yeah, no kidding. TOS putting in some work. I know they have been grinding hard at practice, scrims, ladder, you name it, VOD review for sure. Their team has been putting in the work to make sure that they can bring themselves to that Aeos Cup, and they're just a couple of steps away. They're up 1-0 in this series. Just need another win like that. They'll be well on their way. TOS, one of our favorite teams to watch in this tournament. School Daddy, a part of them. I think that they really are a force to be reckoned with right now.
Yeah, we're waiting, I guess, for the next game to load up here, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. So we're waiting on that one to load up right now.
And that's, again, Team TOS, Team Terms of Scolded, and they're squaring off against Untitled Princess Carolyn Project, UPCP. Just another easy name here by our Pokemon Unite squads, really just putting the screws to us casters sometimes with these team names. But TOS up 1-0 here, and we've got a puppy in the action. Look at that floofer. Look at the floofer getting in on Unite mics. Special guest.
Guys, I don't know if anybody remembers the ancient history of the February finals qualifiers when I was on Spraggle's cast. Guys, this is the villain that Spraggles hates. He can't stand this dog because I had to go take her outside, which is just a crime. And chat, ridiculed me for having to take this dog out. So this is Pickle the Corgi. That's a Pokemon card made of her on the wall. She's part of the house for sure, and a big part of Unite Mics.
Yeah, notable legend, Pickle the dog.
Yes,
without
exactly.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
What
Pickle
the dog
always
doing?
riding out with the squad. That's for sure. That's for sure. Have we found any more teams that have qualified here? I'm trying to refresh this bracket a little bit. It's a little unwieldy now that we're getting
Ghost
so
Pop
deep.
Ruby in chat, absolutely. We want to cast your games for sure. So I'm going to take care of that right now. Why not? So
yeah, we have a minute. Let's sort it out. So we're trying to get through here. This is round 6. Round 7 will be the last one that we will cast here, as the winners of round 7 will be into round 8, and that's where they've officially qualified here. So we're watching Team ToS against UPCP. We've had a couple teams throw at Zap. S5S, I think, is what that team is. I'm so far zoomed out so I can like scroll the bracket efficiently.
Yeah,
that it's kind of hard to read.
Battle 5, man. I don't know.
And then you have Millennium, of course, down here. So we're waiting on a couple high-octane squads, like the SKT, the Kanto Trainers, Kakuna, Matata. 2 very strong names squaring off there.
I'm so glad Kakuna Matata is still in this tournament, just for namesake alone. Just an incredible player. Also, what's up, LKJ? Thanks for coming in. Great work today on qualifying. Fantastic work from IX. We got to cast you guys a little bit today. Your Hoopa looking quite clean, my man.
Yep. Shout out to LK. Thanks for being in the chat. Thanks, Dad. I'm gonna say Zoinks going full dad on that compliment. Absolutely. You gotta pick up your kids. You know what I'm saying? You can't just leave them at school. Let's go.
Well, it's good. He earned his allowance this week, and I will allow him to have it.
There you go. Yeah. IXL key in the chat. Good shouts. Good work by both IX squads today, and you can't not mention it. I mean, 2 squads IXGT just picked up, and both of them moving forward here. So a strong presence. In
An
the Aeos
embarrassment
Cup.
of riches in the IX gaming camp for sure. These teams looking fantastic. 2 presences going into the Aeos Cup finals. It's going to be really fantastic. doobsnax, why don't you remind the folks at home what these teams are playing for?
Well, these teams at home are playing for 12 spots, 4 spots from the March finals. The top 4 teams from the March finals have already punched their ticket into the Aeos Cup. Now, these top 12 teams are also going to join those 4 to make a collective of 16, and they're going to play in a double elimination bracket to try and get their lion's share of $25,000. And that tournament is going down the first weekend of May. That's May 7th and 8th. Please, somebody validate that, but I'm pretty sure 7th and 8th, because I was talking about how it was actually the Kentucky Derby weekend, which, as somebody that resides in the state of Kentucky, that's why that's why that stood out to me. So that is what they're playing for. There is a lot on the line, and it is the biggest cash prize in a Pokemon Unite tournament so far. And even the fledgling amount of time that this game has been played on this competitive level, $25,000 is nothing to scoff at.
Nope, definitely not. Also, guys, as I'm looking at the rest of the people in the losers bracket that are still available to watch and that are also on my friends list, I think we're just going to be sticking with ToS for this game, and they are following up the next game as well, and that'll probably end our coverage for the day. So we still have quite a bit of Unite to bring you. You know, these teams love taking their time to set up these lobbies and actually get into games. So we're still waiting on that to happen. But as soon as that does, then we will definitely get you some more coverage, because that's why we know you're here, you know?
Zoinks, if you don't mind going through our emote initiative.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay. We said it quite a few times, so if you're in chat, you might have heard this already, but if you haven't, thank you so much for joining us. You may see that you can subscribe to the channel for some pretty dope emotes. We got our faces screaming, as well as overdunk, hundo burgers, ducats. Those are double buckets. Just a lot of stuff that we love to yell about and say. Just want to let you know, if you're giving any money to the chat in the form of emotes or donations or anything like that, we are committed to making sure that all of that money goes either to making our stream better or the world better. So none of this money is going to be padding our pockets whatsoever. As we do this stream and things like that, we're going to be donating every month any money accumulated on this stream to a charity of our choosing. We still haven't made a final decision on that. And then with the one exception being, if we need to upgrade the stream in some kind of equipment, if we need the camera breaks, if we need a better microphone because you guys are complaining about it too much in chat, we'll make sure that some of that money goes towards making that happen. But otherwise, we just wanted to make sure you all know that if you are putting money towards the channel, it's going to a good place, not just to paying for doobsnax's Pokemon card addiction.
All right, well, here we go. On the piggyback off that, to keep track of our transparency, of course, and a shameless plug to our Twitter account, that's where we're going to be posting where the profits go every month and whether they're going to what foundation they're going to, or what they're being used for to improve the stream. So just kind of just trying to be open and transparent to keep ourselves accountable, and of course, for those of you that put faith in us to make sure that we're doing the right thing, that you can see where those receipts are and keep track of them if you see fit.
Absolutely.
So, that's where we're at. You know,
we're finally back. We're almost back in game. They have started the game, you know,
okay.
Praise them. But we are just about a minute away from being able to spectate that one. So game 2 has kicked off. We're going to be bringing you ToS versus UPCP, which is unnamed princess something something. And it's going to be an interesting game. Let's see if they can make any changes to their own game plan to bring us into this next game.
Yeah, it got out of control pretty quickly in that first one. So UPCP going to try and shift it up, I can't imagine, at least on a strategic level, to keep that from happening this go-around. As, I mean, they're knocking on the doorstep of qualifying themselves. So it's no time to quit now. You've got the opportunity rests on the horizon, UPCP. Team ToS ain't going to give it to you for free, though.
Nope, Team ToS, one of the strongest teams in this bracket, honestly. I think, can you look up, Kirk, quick, who knocked them down into losers? Did we watch that game?
Let's see if I can find it really quick. A full send. It was full send. I think we actually did watch that game, too.
Yeah, no, we definitely did. A obviously very, very strong opponent of full send. Had a tough bracket to make their way through. ToS facing a lot of really good teams, and that's not really going to change as we're headed into this final match and the one following, depending on who wins this next game. So, yeah, definitely some work to be done for sure. Job's not done, as we like to say in this community. So, excited to see the rest of these games. We're going to have that up in just a minute. Thank you.
Just a minute indeed. We're going to bide some time, slowly and surely. I'm excited for this action. Team ToS has looked great. And of course, following them and their story has been awesome too. A couple players from a couple different teams that have been established for a bit and have come together to form this team and really put their eyes on this Aeos Cup as a way to really make their name known across this community.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just still waiting on that one to show up. For some reason, it is not, like, there enough time into the game that it should. Okay, there we go. Finally, I found it. Okay.
Let's go.
Here we go. Bring it up to the live screen. We're here. ToS up 1-0.
Taking a look here, no big changes here for ToS. And I'm not noticing any different from UPCP. Wait, who were they using in the central area last time? Was it Blastoise? I don't think it was. It was Greninja, wasn't it? Oh, Zoinks can't hear you.
Yep, sorry, I stepped away for just a short second to take care of something. We're back in it. Bot lane looking good. Again, this triple support is such an interesting look that we've seen a lot of success come from the back of this team. Now, losing a little bit of the early first Dreadnought presence, which is something that I was worried about in this series, but however, they're still managing to make sure that the late game is completely theirs, and that's going to be on the back of Scolded, getting a ton of value in that Venusaur, often hitting level 14, maybe even 15 by Zapdos at a lot of these situations.
Yep, I was saying before, UPCP here, I think they had Greninja in that central area before, but electing to switch to Blastoise here, working through a little bit, and Local Fox can actually get themselves a Corphish because they desperately want to hit level 4, as all those Apoms are resting in lane, and I'm assuming waiting to feed somebody up into level 4, and I think they decided that that's your Local Fox, as they're trying to seal it up, and not quite ticking them over.
Exactly. Okay, let's take a look. We have a Blastoise jungle now going for Neptune. Finally hits that evolution. Sanji doing their best 1v2 impression here, getting a lot of damage done. No KOs, and doesn't get that many beats. So good extra rotation there, but that means that Scolded is in the bot lane causing problems. These rotations to bot lane, I think, have taken a lot of teams by surprise, but they've done this in game 1 and 2 now, and it's gotten tons of value in both situations.
Yeah, just a great look and intelligent read on the situation. You know, TOS seeing, hey, that Lucario probably isn't going to go down. Let's let Sanji do some work up there and fend for themselves. And let's try and slide this game a little somewhere else. Good engage there. Good surf by Fox as Op gets caught a little bit. And Dat Boy Muck sends them packing. Dat Boy Muck, traditionally on that Greninja, but on this team, terms of Scolded, takes a backseat to Scold and says, yeah, I'll play bot lane attack. I can do that. Let's go. Picking up the Hoopa as the support and also the pseudo attack roll. Feppy, Muck, Aquilo, just all supports all the time down here in this bottom path.
It's so funny to watch Feppy push for these extra, you know, I don't know, last hits and stuff, because they're playing Pollen Puff. Like, they're trying to get the B press auto attack value here, but sometimes it is just so tough to get in these close last hits. All right, let's see what the squad of UPCP can make happen here. Your local Fox is going to be giving a lot of extra presents. Gorgeous Slowbro skin, by the way. I love the hat. Trying to look double water Pokemon engaged. The rapid spin War Turtle takes a ton of damage. Sanji looking for value.
Yeah, nobody getting cashed in yet, but what that does is TOS is all over these Bs, able to get some quality experience there at the expense of UPC having to retreat, but that War Turtle is low on HP, and now if UPCP wants to engage, they need to give it a second and get their HP back up, as Neptune is looking for an opportunity here, but TOS might get this one for free if they've even started Dreadnought. Seems like it's been standing around for a while here, but nobody's even engaged on it, because TOS wants to take the body, and here we go. Scolded runs in, that's a Giga Drain into just an absolute blast in the face of the Yupa. Koopa, KO Streak of 2, getting Lucario next up, and all of UPCP is forced to retreat, and now they've turned their attention on Dreadnoughts. It's absolutely just buckled turn into turtle soup here in the bottom path, and Fox is not long for this engagement here as they retreat, and now Regis, who was the Greninja before, actually on the Hoopa now, and retreating back up the path.
Yeah, exactly. Huge team fight there. Scolded getting to that level 9 and getting the Venusaur evolution just paid dividends for them. The huge team fight win. Now we need to see the enemy jungler catching up in experience. Neptune, a very good War Turtle, sorry, not Bulbasaur, a very good Blastoise player. However, we just haven't seen them quite hit that level 9 yet where they really become a threat. I think once that's unlocked, they can put a lot of pressure on the enemy squad. The gigantic amount of CC is going to be tough for Aquilo to try to manage. Who do they safeguard? Who do they try to protect in those situations? So it's going to be interesting. Scolded, again, the legendary dinosaur spearhead, always charging forward with this game of TOS.
Yeah, they're looking for a 5-player engage here as they're all coming up and the Pikachu's down south. But here we go. The action's kicked off. That's a Unite move. That's a Blissey onto the Blastoise. That's going to give, or excuse me, a Blissey onto, I can't even follow who they're up. Venusaur, excuse me. Wow, losing it all over the place. Big Unite move. That's a pumpkin firing through Halloween style. And they're going to see if they can turn this thing into a horror movie in this top path as they're pushing forward. The Eldegoss gets KO on Blastoise, and we're working through, and they're trying to get this thing in, and all the points are raining in, doing it the hard way, too easy. Let's go. The whole squad is there. The whole squad shows up, and man, did they deliver.
No kidding. Yeah, huge Rotom siege on the tier 2 goal zone on the top, and it breaks. Huge lead is right, announcer. Good point. 320 to 34 points. TOS running away with this game right now. We really need to see something special coming out of UPCP if they want to bring this game back. Your local Fox is almost at that Slowbro Unite move. They can use that to shut down an individual target so well, and then the rest of the team can capitalize and find a way to break down the HP bars of that Pokemon. However, lots of tanky targets on the other side. Going to be tough for who they want to look at.
Just a rinse and repeat of game 1 here as the Dat Boy Muck pulling out the Hoop on bound. Not only getting a good portion of bees, but pulling the squad down to the Dreadnought. Free, no problems with it as they're all over that Dreadnought, getting it without any contention here. And UPCP, at least intelligently flipping the script, going back up top and seeing what kind of work they can do up there. And they're going to try and get just a little bit of an overcap on this top goal zone and go ahead and break it before the Rotom shows up. Oh no, they're eviscerating this bottom goal zone. That forced the Unite move out of the Pikachu. And now they're trying to get the engagement with the Blastoise Unite as well as they're pushing forward here. But the Blastoise is getting caught. Their HP is getting dwindled very quickly. Another Unite move coming out, and the pressure is getting put put on. UPC keeps pushing forward, but their HP bars are getting low. Sanji getting in the mix, and it's E-Speed time. Oh, but they get locked down by the slow bro, and now it's a Hoopa unbound by Regis, and they're trying to find a KO, but it's the Blissey that eats up the Pikachu. And now there's 2 players out for UPC as Eldegoss takes down the Hoopa. Support on support crime there, and Feppy just getting the heals in as there's 1 player forward, and I believe that's Sanji just trying to be a thorn in the side of this UPC team in that bottom path.
No kidding. They're going to get the ESP resets here. They get the blue buff for their troubles as well. Aquilo going to just try to help their buddy out. Make sure that they're getting out absolutely free. Scolded just going to be farming up this Rotom. So much farm available on the side of the map for ToS. So immediately after this Rotom, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, exactly. We see a back. No reason to try to push this one all the way into the enemy tier goal zone. And look at Muck here. 256 will probably see a Dreadnought spawn within the next 10 seconds or so, or at least we'll see the countdown timer kick off. Having Muck down here just means that the Unite move, Hoopa Unbound Portal, is available to them. They can go off, farm everything carefree, knowing that Muck is the ultimate Uber ride all the way down to the bot lane.
Absolutely, and you see just the 2 support players, Feppy and the Hoopa, that boy Muck, playing very forward, and that's to get vision. Nobody's really worried about Dreadnought, certainly ToS isn't. What they're worried about is taking an efficient and calculated team fight here, as you can kind of see all the purple and orange pips starting to formulate around each other. And oh, that's a big surf there by Fox. They catch Sanji a little bit, but UPC not willing to engage off the back of that. They're retreating a little bit, but ToS is about that action. They're chasing them back all the way to the middle here. 7 seconds till Zapdos.
A pretty quick retreat though, I think, knowing a measure response, and they're also reading the rotation. Take a look at this. They read the bot lane rotation, they made the full adaptation. Now they're swiveling down, pivot back to middle, and they're trying to see what they can do to stop it. Sanji gonna read the top lane, gonna make sure they have vision provided there. Feppy's in charge of watching the bottom.
UPC coming in split though. Hoopa Unbound gonna rip out a Regis here, but they're getting caught. All of a sudden UPC comes together and they're pushing back ToS. They've got that bottom goal zone to work with. That's a Unite move and a Unite back by the Pikachu. We're getting melted through. Blissey picks up the Venusaur. Now they're gonna be able to do work here and put a lot of pressure on. Nobody's down yet. The buddy barriers are getting worked through. Neptune's the first one on the chopping block. They're getting real close, and that's a great Pokemon to take down, but it's Regis first, and that's Blissey getting the KO there. 2 players down. Lucario, it bit the dust too. And Scolded's looking for the next target, and it's local Fox, and that's the Eldegoss, and the Blissey just taking it down. Says we can heal, we can do damage too, baby. Scolded staying in the middle, 4 players down, and it's just your local Fox that's up to try and make a hero play here as the Hoopa Lucario are coming in, and they might make it in time if they can just dart in. If they can just dart in, are they gonna fall short? They're Jaren time. The left side team takes it. That's ToS. They keep down the heroics, and they take it as they're about to go rain in some ducats.
Yeah, tons of points available. Hundo Burgers on the horizon, I believe. Kilo making all the way in, getting a nice score. Scolded gets the Hundo Burger, absolutely. And there we go. UPCP put up an extremely good fight in that round. I think the Blastoise was finding a lot of value. Huge Slowbro ult on Scolded, but unfortunately, Kilo is just too much of a wizard on the Blissey. Does the best get down Mr. President I've seen in quite some time. Keeps Scolded up and running, and a level 15 Venusaur is just fantastic as the game moves on throughout the rest of the game. So ToS, great performance there. Now moving on to the next round, they now only have 1 more game to play through to qualify for our Aeos Cup.
Yep, and they're waiting for them is S5S. Team ToS doing exactly what they want here, terms of Scolded, and it seemed that they engaged on Scolded's terms every single time. Yes. That is why they're named that, and that is certainly one of their recipes to success. A very good show, and their tournament rolls on. UPCP, unfortunately, put down your Switch, put down your phone, go do something else. Your night's over.